Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty Moss of Moss Photography, and on this channel we talk about self-love, self-portrait photography, and boudoir photography, and how we can mix all of those together to help heal ourselves and help heal others through this art form. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my own journey, and I just wanted to share with you 5 ways that I am working towards healing my relationship with my body. So let's dive into this. Let's go! First things first is I want to address the title of the video, which is 5 ways that I am healing my relationship with my body. When I first started writing this script, I wrote 5 ways that I have healed my relationship with my body, and I changed it because I didn't like the past tense. I think that our relationship with our body is active and ongoing and requires constant lifelong work. Sorry, it's not a one fix wonder, which is why I changed it to an action word like healing. All relationships require work and effort, and your relationship with your body and with yourself is no different. In fact, it is your most longest relationship in your whole life. It should be your most fulfilling and deepest relationship, and the most rewarding one that you will ever cultivate. Therefore, I think it's really important that we recognize that it is a verb and an action word. Therefore, I think it's important to realize that we need to constantly be working on this, but it should also be a work that is really fulfilling and enjoyable, fun, sometimes hard, but in the end, really, really worth it. So with that preface being said, here are my 5 ways that I am actively integrating more self-love and body love into my life. So number 1, and probably the most important tool that I have learned to use in my self-love toolkit, is body neutrality. So you've probably heard about body positivity because the body positive movement has been huge. It's been sweeping the internet. Everybody's on board with body positivity. But when you've spent your whole life at war with yourself, I think it's very hard to go from waging war to being in love with yourself. Like, that is just a really big step to make. And the middle ground to that is finding a nice, solid, neutral place to land in regards to your relationship and how you view your body. So, what the heck does body neutrality mean? Well, I googled it for you so you don't have to do it, and I found an excerpt from verywellmind.com, which says, body neutrality means taking a neutral perspective towards your body, meaning that you do not have to cultivate a deep love for your body or feel that you have to love your body every day. You may not always love your body, but you may still live happily and appreciate everything that your body can do. Body neutrality commonly goes hand in hand with mindfulness, in the sense that when you respect your body, give it care, nutrition, rest, and movement, you will notice how good you begin to feel and how well your body functions. A reason I think reaching a deep place of respect for your body, regardless of how it looks, is so important is because you should respect the vessel that you're in. You ask people around you to respect you, so why don't you ask that from yourself? And I think it's important to recognize that you don't need to love how your body looks in order to recognize that it's capable, worthy, and valuable. So that's all well and good, but how do you actually reach a place of body neutrality? And the answer is just practice, just really kind of flipping the script inside your head whenever you feel yourself slipping back into a place of negativity towards your body. Take a moment, recognize the thought, see it, and try to replace it with one that is a little bit more neutral and just respectful of your body. So if you wake up and you're like, oh, I really don't like how I look today, or I don't like how my arms look in this sweater, you can flip it around and be like, these arms give people a lot of beautiful hugs, they hold my loved ones, they enable me to cook meals and nourish myself and play and do activities that I love to do. So no, your arms don't need to look good in order to give your loved ones hugs and embraces, but they get to do that, and how cool is that? So I think definitely reaching a place of body neutrality has been incredibly healing in my journey, especially on those days where it is quite hard to love myself. And the goal with body neutrality is not to stay there forever. You don't want to stay in this place of neutrality forever, but it is a stepping stone into loving yourself a little bit deeper. So once you can go from waging war with yourself to just finding this safe place of neutrality, you can kind of meander on from that into moments of love or moments of adoration or moments of deep likeness for yourself. And then from there, you can kind of reach those a little bit more easily than if you were trying to go from body negativity straight to body positivity. So body neutrality, so important. Number 2 is reading literature that deconstructs body ideals and that helps give tools in a very concrete way on how to love and care for yourself and your body. So my top 2 books that I have read that just shattered my perspective and my thinking on my relationship with my body. The first one was The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor. I cannot recommend this book enough. Whenever I'm talking to a client that wants to work with me, who really wants to do like deep work into their body image, I give them homework after our consultation, and their homework is to go buy this book and read it. It just gives so many beautiful tools on how to shift your perspective and how to look at yourself through a new lens. Sonia Renee Taylor just has a beautiful way with words, and she just comes from such a good place in her heart, and the book is just, I can't even sing its praises high enough. I am just so obsessed with it. I love it so much. I highly recommend it. It is triggering, and she says it in like the first chapter. She's like, you might be really angry when you read this book, and that's okay. That means I'm hitting the right pain spots. That's not a verbatim quote, but she kind of generally says that in the first chapter or so of the book. And it's true, like when you hit those nerves and when there's work to be done, you get like this gut reaction of like, no, I don't like this. You kind of get angry about it. The Artist Way has the same kind of effect where you're hitting those pain points. But that means that you're hitting the right spots and that you're going to grow into that if you take the opportunity to. A really beautiful quote from that book that I wanted to read you is, "Equally damaging is our insistence that all bodies should be healthy. Health is not a state we owe the world. We are not less valuable, worthy, or lovable because we are not healthy. Lastly, there is no standard of health that is achievable for all bodies." I'm just going to read that last sentence again because it's so important. Lastly, there is no standard of health that is achievable for all bodies. All bodies look different. All bodies feel different. All bodies are different, and there's no such thing as healthy in a universal sense. I have come to not hate the word healthy, but really recognize how people wield it as like a weapon towards bodies that make them feel uncomfortable. And I don't think that that is something that we need to be doing as people to other people anymore. Healthy is not a state you owe the world to exist in. You are allowed to just exist as you are, and you are perfectly worthy and perfectly valuable exactly as you are, point blank, nothing else. You are worthy and you are valuable. And I think that The Body Is Not an Apology really just brings that into full clarity when you read it. So highly recommend it. My second favorite book on body love is by another boudoir photographer from Canada, Terry Hofford. She's from Winnipeg. I adore everything that this woman does. She is so sensational. Her book is called The Geode Theory, and it is self-published, and you need to go read it. It is such a good book. Terry also just has a beautiful way with words, and if you don't go read her book, you should at least go follow her on Instagram because she has like the longest, most well-written, eloquent captions that you will ever find on Instagram. I find myself just like every time Terry's posts pop up onto my Instagram, I just like take a moment and I take like a big deep breath. And I'm like, okay, Terry, what wisdom do you have to bestow on us today? And I like just dive into the caption with my heart wide open because everything she says is just so so good. So definitely go check out her book and check out the work that she does, because she is amazing. Alright, the third tool that I am using on healing my relationship with my body is using movement and exercise as a way to feel good, not look good. I think our culture is borderline obsessed with fitness as a tool to change the way our bodies look and exist in the world. And I think that that is a relationship that can easily be quite toxic. I think we need to focus a little bit more on how exercise and movement just makes us feel good in our skins and can really highlight the amazing things that our bodies are capable of doing. Even if that's just breathing and stretching, our bodies are capable of such amazing things, and they deserve to be moved in ways that feel authentic and genuine and not a punishment. A lot of exercise plans and like gym plans can be quite punishment focused. I also think people will use exercise as a way to like earn their food. Like, oh, I can have this cookie, I'm gonna work out today. And if you think about that for a second, that's really toxic, because you're essentially saying that you don't deserve to nourish your body. It needs food to function. Spoiler alert, unless you work out and like balance the caloric intake that you are taking in. But your body needs food to function. All food is good food. I believe that all food is good food because it's fueling your body to do the things that is necessary for your body to do. So I think reframing exercise and just being very intentional and mindful with the way that I move my body and the way that I practice movement has been incredibly healing. All right, number 4, talking to my body as if I really, truly, deeply adore it. This is kind of like body neutrality, but it's also a little bit different. They can be very similar though. Sometimes we get stuck in cycles of negative body talk. That's just the way that we're raised and socialized and taught, especially women and femmes. We're taught to really pick apart our bodies because we are only valuable if we look good. So it's very, very ingrained in us to have a negative mindset and to be constantly at war with our appearance. So something I have used in order to fall in love with the softness of my body all over again is to talk to it as if it's kind of like a puppy. Because puppies are really cute, and puppies are really soft, and puppies are really squishy. And you wouldn't look at a puppy and be like, you're soft and squishy, that's disgusting. You'd be like, you're so soft and squishy. So sometimes I will just kind of grab my belly if I'm having a hard day with loving my body, and I will just talk to it like it's a puppy, and I'll just be like, good belly, like you're doing so good. And it sounds silly. It is silly. It feels silly at first, definitely. But it is also incredibly healing, and it's just kind of nice to talk to your body as if you're on its side, because you should be on its side and you should be a big fan of everything that your body does for you. And I feel like sometimes tricking myself and faking it till I make it, and talking to my body as if I really, really adore it when sometimes I'm feeling the opposite, has been a really beautiful way to kind of heal that relationship with my body. All right, last but not least, number 5. This one should come as no surprise if you've been around my channel for a little bit, and that is self-portrait photography and taking pictures of myself with the intention of seeing myself as a whole entity and appreciating every single last facet of that. I will not lie to you, sometimes, especially when you're starting out, self-portrait photography can be incredibly challenging, especially if you're doing it through a lens of boudoir, or in a way that you're a little bit more vulnerable and intimate in front of the camera, because unlike having somebody else take your boudoir photos, you have to look at all of the pictures. You have to see your body in every angle, not just the flattering angles, but every single angle. But that is also where the magic and the healing comes in, because you're able to see yourself 100% of how you exist in the world and make peace with it. It's incredibly challenging. I have definitely cried on my floor a couple times, seeing myself in a way that maybe kind of shattered the illusion of what I've been telling myself. But that's also where you make peace with it. You can't really heal from something unless you recognize that it's there and that it needs to be healed. So you can't just hide from these feelings and just say, oh, they're just gonna heal on their own. You kind of have to face them head on and tackle them and deciding to commit to healing those thoughts and those feelings about your body. And self-portrait photography has definitely been a huge tool in me doing so. When you do self-portrait photography, you don't have any other outside forces dictating you how you should look, how you should move, how you should exist, how you should feel in your vessel. You get to arrive in front of the camera and place down any preconceived notions that the media, society, friends, family, or even the person that would be behind the camera expects of you. You get to just arrive in front of the camera and find your authentic self in whatever that looks like for you in that day. I often like to say that self-portrait photography is kind of a vacuum for and of yourself. There's nothing else that exists in that space except for what you put there and what you decide to create, what you decide to work through, what notions you decide to leave behind, or what you try to integrate into that imagery and into yourself. Self-portrait photography can be done with a fancy camera, or it can be done just on your phone. Sometimes I still do self-portraits just on my iPhone whenever the mood strikes, whenever the light is just falling in the right spot and I really want to go play in it and make art with it with my body, or whenever I feel like maybe it would just help. Like maybe I need a little mood booster, or I just feel like something needs to move through me in that moment, but I don't have my camera. I will just grab my phone and just allow that to happen and unfold however it needs to. A huge believer in self-portraiture as a tool for healing your relationship with your body. Sometimes it is uncomfortable, but some of the best healing methods are uncomfortable. Sometimes that discomfort is just a sign that that's where the good shit is laying. That's where the next big discovery is waiting for you to find, just a little bit outside of your comfort zone where it just makes you feel a little bit uncomfy. That's where the magic happens. So there you guys have it. Those are my 5 ways that I am healing, not healed, my relationship with my body. Pop down below in the comments which one was your favorite, or what you're currently working on, what you're using to heal your body. If you feel like there's something I missed, if you have any good book recommendations for body literature, I love reading and I love finding new gems that I haven't discovered before, so leave those down below as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.